Okay, YouTube. I'm having a problem with my steering, and I decided I'm going to try and fix this on my own. The problem I'm having, like I'll show you with the steering wheel here. You can hear that. I don't know if you can hear that crunching noise or not. It shouldn't be that loose, this wheel. Okay, so what I figured out the problem is I'll show you here. It's going to be the lower intermediate steering linkage, and that's this here. Just show it to you here. Get it out of the box. Sorry, working with one hand here. Okay, so that's what it is. It'll go in under the floor like this. Okay, and up through the engine there. But I'll show you how I'm going to replace it, and hopefully everything goes really good. Alright, but first what we need to do is we need to jack the car up and remove the left front tire so that we can get access to the intermediate steering shaft. Alright. Okay, so I got the car jacked up. Safety precautions that I did take. We put two jack stands under there to make sure, and I also kept the jack under there as well as just an extra added piece of safety. Also took the tire that I took off, placed it underneath the car, you know, just in case something does happen, it falls. It's not going to go all the way down, it'll stop at that tire because I will be under the car. And I chalked the back wheel just to make sure it doesn't roll back on me. It's always best to be safe, just to make sure that you get out of this with all your fingers, toes, and even your head. Okay. Okay, so the part that I'm going to be replacing, see if I can get a good angle here for you. Is right here. What I'm touching here. Okay, there's a bolt here that's got to come off. We'll take that off. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep the camera on there or not. I doubt it. But that bolt's got to come out. I've already sprayed it out with PB Blaster. Let it sit for a bit. So hopefully it should just pop right out without an issue. Now the other thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to mark where this is at with some sort of marking pen or something, because when you put it back on, you want to make sure you put it back on the way, the new one back on the way you took it off, or else you're going to have a steering wheel that's not going to line up properly. Okay, so make sure that you mark where this is right now. So you obviously want to make sure the wheel is 100% straight before you start taking this off. Mark it, and then go ahead and start pulling that bolt out. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can focus in on that there. Okay, so you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, I think you can, but you can see where I've marked where I need to put back on that bolt. Now I'm going to try to take this off without moving the camera, but I'm in a tight spot here. Let's see what I got here. You're going to need a 13mm socket. You might need a breaker bar as well. Okay, so I'm just getting my stuff together here. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's see what happens. The other thing too is you got these little lines here. These are the brake lines, so you definitely want to make sure that you are extremely careful with those. I don't know if I might have to turn that a bit. Just a tad. It's okay to turn it because I've already marked where they got to go back on. Alright, let's see if I need breaker bar. Nope, I don't need a breaker bar. PB Blaster did its job. Alright, so let's remove this. Probably could have used a longer extension, but I don't have that, so it'll have to be this way. That's how I'm doing here. Oh, it's coming. Whoop. Get over here. Back on. You can see that now. Let's see if I can get traction here. Nope. Pain in the ass. But by doing it myself, I'm saving myself several $100 if it works out. I've already placed a lot of stuff on this car myself. Now the struts right here. Zoom out a bit here. I replaced those myself. Replaced the sway bar. Also replaced the lower control arm myself as well. Wow, that's tight. Okay, so you got the point. I'm going to shut this camera off so I can get better at it. And I'll come back as soon as I have the bolt out. Okay, so I managed to get that bolt out. It was more of a pain in the ass than I thought it was going to be. But she came out. So now we're going to move to underneath the steering wheel and get that one. Okay, so she's pretty dark under here. Hopefully you can see this. Alright, so the bolt that I want to get is that one that has the yellow paint on it. Alright, you see that there? See if I can get a better angle for you. Yeah, so the one that has the yellow paint on the bolt, that one's got to come out. Fortunately, I can't film this one. It's just too tight, but I'll come back as soon as it's out. Okay, so I got that bolt out, came out. So next up, I want to pop off that boot that's right here. Okay. Try and do that with the camera. It shouldn't be too hard. With one hand, oh, it just pops right off. Okay, so now this should just slide right down and pop right off the thing. See if I can't put the camera somewhere like that, prop it up a bit. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Hopefully you can see that. Find out later. Yep, see, and it just pops right off. Now, in a perfect world, now that bolts off underneath the car, the part of the shaft, perfect world, this should just slide out, but it's not going to, probably because it's so rusted on. I'm going to have to probably chisel it off from the bottom. Okay. Yep, so I'm going to have to go underneath the bottom and pop it off with a screwdriver. Okay. Okay, so success. YouTube. This is the old one here, and this is the new one. So I'm just matching them up right now, make sure I got the right part, right size, and they're definitely the same one. I'm going to show you what went wrong with the old one here. I'm going to try and get a close-up here for you. Set this up for you. Alright. So this is the U-joint, and you can see, I'll try and get that in focus for you. You can see there's an awful lot of play in there. All that clicking, it was almost ready to snap. And if that would have snapped at highway speeds or something, it would have been toast. Like look at the right there. I don't know if you can see that, but right there. I'll try and get down a bit closer with the camera. You can see how it's all gouged out. That wasn't long for this world. I'm kind of glad I got to it when I did. Could have been a scary situation, going down at 100 kilometers an hour and all of a sudden lose your steering. Not good. And take a look at the new one. And you can see I got no play at all. So this is going to be a big difference. I'm actually baffled at this. This is just unreal. Like, it's just totally chewed all the shit. Okay, so now the fun part, putting it back in. Okay, I will get back to you as soon as I get this installed, and we'll see how it works out. See if I can get you in here. You can see where it came off. I'll try and zoom in a bit. So what's next is I'm going to try and clean that off the best I can. I'm going to use brake parts cleaner. Get all that rust off there. Clean it up. Oh, see if I can get that back into focus. There we go. Doesn't want to focus on me here. Hold on. There we go. And I'll use some parts cleaner on there and get that cleaned off. And then I'm also going to put some anti-seize on there. That'll help make the new one slide on a little bit easier. And just in case I decide to keep this car for another 10 years or so, if this goes again and I need to replace it, it'll come off a lot easier than it did this time. Okay, so I will come back to you as soon as I get this all cleaned up, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we're finished. You can see the new one on there. And then we'll go back underneath the wheel, steering wheel. And we'll take a peek there. I better grab the flashlight. Alright. And you can see I have the new one on there. Now it's just a matter of sticking the boot back in where it belongs, and I should be good to go. All in all, it took me about an hour and a half. Saved myself about 600 bucks.